Let's look at our digital banking stats. User growth is up 28% with transaction avoidance.
Customer retention is down 15%. This is a serious problem.
These dashboards show our digital banking adoption rates. We see a 15% year-over-year growth.
These transformation metrics are concerning. Cyber risk is up to 65%.
The data shows critical gaps in our implementation, but this framework provides the solution.
The speed of this transformation is incredible. Every screen tells a story.
Our banking AI systems process millions of transactions per second. This is the digital banking infrastructure advantage.
This is our vision for transforming banking.
These figures need verification. The timeline is tight.
Using AI tools, we orchestrate our digital banking timeline. This systematic approach closes the gap efficiently.
The reports are in. We need to act now. Get the team together. We're implementing digital banking. This is our future.
Robert, for the cloud migration phase, we'll prioritize the authentication module.
Agreed. And for the data layer, we use the new encryption standards.
Dramatically improved processing speeds, and customer satisfaction metrics have soared.
The digital banking rollout is complete. We've achieved 98% success, with efficiency up 25% and seat up 40%.
The results are in. Customer retention is up 25% and digital engagement is work. Exactly, we're leading the way.
Robert, congratulations. The digital transformation is a success.
Thank you, Victoria. Your vision made this possible.
To our clients,
Digital innovation and traditional strength seamlessly integrated. A successful transformation, closing the gap.